and he's with the Brick Squad Monopoly. So if you want to introduce yourself and talk about, where you're from and what you're up to. All right. I'm I'm trying to see too, like, okay, audio input. We're having a slight technical difficulties also because I'm trying to get the audio to line up. Well, I'm making sure that people can hear you. That's This is my first live podcast, everybody. So like, chill. I'm trying. All right, this should be that. So there we go. All right, say something.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay, I think that did it. All right, I think we're good to go now. Go ahead and say all that. I mean, sorry, but go ahead and say all that again
Sure.
about your who you are and where you're from and what you're up to. You know, if you
Yep.
would.
I go by DJ Blacktear. I'm a podcast owner of Blackout Radio, and also I'm a quote unquote mixtape DJ. I'm working on my second project called the Black La Familia, which not only features my music, but music from independent artists that have submitted songs to me. And I also have affiliations with Brick Squad Monopoly. So some of the artists under that umbrella will be on my mixtape as well. And also I have
Okay, great. That sounds good. I'm sorry, I'm listening. um, and so, like, how did you meet up with them? How did you link up with Brick Squad? Is it people you knew already, or? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
member of 1017 Brick Squad Monopoly. So Icy Boys, he also acknowledged me as well as an affiliate. And that's how basically how it happened.
Cool. I was just thinking about it. There's a song, the activist song, and there's a kid, the last kid who just happens to be a white kid, and it's not because he's white, but he's really good. Do you know what song I'm talking about?
Um, is
It's
it a
the
from a
act.
current project?
No, no, no. This is older. This is like probably 5 years ago, maybe more. But it's activist with I think I could look it up real quick. Yeah, let me look it up because I checked on him. He's not on any other songs whatsoever that I could find, and just his one verse is like, I don't know. He just has like a cool like sound or whatever. Um, hmm, I'm trying to get my Serato up. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I'm like not trusting any technology right now. Let me just grab my phone. Here we go.
Yeah, mainly the artists I deal with are like Just Rich Gates.
Yeah.
He's been on several Waka Flocka's mixtapes.
Uh huh.
Just Juice, which is Frenchie's artist. Dollar Rule, of course. And I have a few others that I'm trying to build relationships with, but the main ones are Just Rich Gates and Just Juice. And
Okay.
speaking of which, on the mixtape, Just Rich Gates has a song with Willie D of the Ghetto Boys
Oh yeah.
that's going to be on there, and Just Juice, he has a song featuring Lil Flip and Amigos that's going to be on there.
Oh, cool.
And Dollar Rule has a song with Frenchie that's going to be on there.
Okay.
And then also he has a track with Young Throwback, who's Gucci Man's brother, that I'm going to feature on there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's big time stuff, you know? So
Yeah.
the guy's name is Ben G.
Benji.
Yeah.
Okay, I definitely will check that out.
I
I'm not
mean,
going to say I play all the mixtapes every day.
yeah, no. I mean, the song was big though. The song itself was big. And if I can get this stuff straightened out. So this is, again, if anyone's watching, this is my first live stream podcast. I live stream mixes all the time, but I don't have to talk. And so my screen just went black.
Yeah, I still see.
Okay, good. But yeah, so I'm trying to get everything together. So anyway, and all those people, are they like local to where you're at, to Detroit in the area? Or?
The Rich Swap Monopoly.
Yeah, well, yeah, and the artist specifically that you just mentioned.
No, Dollar Rule's in New York. Just Rich Gates, I believe he's in South Carolina.
Okay.
Just Juice is in North Carolina.
Okay.
And of course, the French is between Atlanta and New York.
So they're all over.
Yeah. And the independent artists, I have artists from Detroit that's going to be on there. Artists from Tennessee that's going to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
Artists from Atlanta and Chicago, New York, and a few other areas. I'm still in the beginning stages of the mixtape.
Yeah.
So it's not all a final project yet.
Right. I found the song. Let me play it for you real quick. I'm not trying to be stuck on this, but like.
Oh no, you're fine.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember this song? No.
Oh, Activist.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I just heard a snippet of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the 3-6. Yeah, not the 3.
Got that little spooky sound on it.
Yeah, that's a 3-6 Mafia sample. So.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know.
See, I'm
artist name. I know that song.
I'm an old head. Yeah. I'm an old
head.
head.
I just don't know the artist name.
Yeah. No, this Waka Flocka. That's Waka. That's Waka.
I'm talking about the guy that you were talking
about. Oh yeah, Ben G. Yeah. Nobody does, because that's the only song he's ever been on. So.
Yeah, he's like activist. Yeah, I know how the chorus goes. Yeah. Mm. I'm like activist.
Yeah, no, it's cool because like when you're old like me, like you recognize samples. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah, it is. I used to love. Well, I still do, but like when I was like a teenager, I was big into 3-6 and a lot of like Tennessee.
Oh yeah. Speaking of 3-6 Mafia, that's what I forgot to say. Just Rich Gates, the track not only features Willie D, the Ghetto Boys, but also Country Black. He's on the track, and an independent artist named King Craze. And the name of the song is Cops and Robbers.
Is that like on YouTube or Spotify or anything?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can look it up. YouTube, Spotify. It's just like I could pick any track that they produce to put on there, but obviously for the eyes and views, I want to pick the one with featuring special guests.
Right. Yeah. Especially like YouTube. YouTube is like probably where people mostly get their music nowadays, I would think. Yeah. That or like Apple Music and Spotify, and I don't know if people.
The songs with Dollar Rule and things like that, those were actually sent to me. But with Just Juice, he sent me new material, but obviously everybody's trying to build their name and brand, so I'm like, well, let me use the one with Lil Flip and Amigos on it.
Yeah, that's huge. Lil Flip and Migos. I love Lil Flip.
And he already has over 500,000 streams on that on Spotify.
Oh really? Way to go. That's great.
He already has over, and he has a plaque. He had received a plaque for it.
Nice. Who, Lil Flip?
Oh, Just Rich Gates.
Oh, Just Rich Gates did. It's his song.
Sorry.
No, it's his song, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Just Rich Gates, I don't know the song it was, but he also has a plaque for streams as well.
That's cool. So
yeah, and then as a disclosure, all the tracks that are on the mixtape is nothing. The rights are owned by the artist. It's not. Oh, you're going to send me a track saying Jadakiss? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
Research first.
Right. Yeah, and that's like tricky and it like even like when you're doing samples and stuff. I know there's like lots of free samples out there like on BandLab or whatever or just like in communities, but even then sometimes you can't be 100% sure, you know. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
And also on the mixtape, I have an artist named Truel. He's an affiliate of Dipset, and he has a track that was actually on this album called Knockout, featuring Joel Santana,
Cool.
that I'm gonna use. He wanted to send me a song with Styles P, and he also has a song with Faith Evans and Joel Santana, but it's not completed yet
Okay.
because this was during the time Joel Santana had a stint in prison,
Yeah.
so everything was kind of put on hold for a second.
Right. So do you like also produce and stuff too? You got people like sending you all these tracks and
No, no, I don't produce at all. I just research, and then if I like something I hear, I use it.
oh, okay. Well, that's really good that you got like big names like that sending you stuff, you know.
Well, obviously, I've been doing a radio show
Oh, okay.
since I was doing my radio show, Blackout Radio, since 2015. And with that comes people, if they respect you, that send people your way.
Right.
And that's just how it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of got into radio here where I am and I'm in Monroe, Louisiana and you probably have never heard of it, but it's small. So, I was on the radio here for a brief stint and it's not even close to the same. There's not really much you can do with it. It's like where you're at is I guess that
Well,
nowadays maybe not, you know, with everything being online.
mainly it comes down to promotion.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you put yourself out there that you're an FM uh, host,
Mhm.
everybody's gonna hit you up.
Right. Yeah. Well, I like it sounds like you also have like a clear goal in mind of what you're going to be doing, you know? Like you're like were you thinking like I'm getting into this because I'm going to be able to like promote myself and my music later on or you just like love the music and you just wanted to like see how far you
To be honest with you, back in 2000, the end of 2014, I started doing music.
Uh-huh.
And the first interview I received, I had people that were calling in and things like that. So the host actually gave me the idea to start my show, to
Yeah.
start a show under them.
Okay.
And I didn't want to do it at first. It took me about a week or two, and then I finally decided, like, hey, I'm gonna do it. Then it started. We had a little run, and then due to the other hosts, it's only one lion in the jungle, so
Yeah, yeah.
I stepped away from that. Then I took a little hiatus, and then I started my own thing.
Mm,
And I've interviewed King Scratch of the NWA and a lot of different people.
cool. So you're like a lot better, more seasoned at this than I am. I've actually interviewed. Oh, don't ask me that. Sorry, I've interviewed like probably let me see, like 10 people now, and it's like it doesn't get easier, but I always like talking about hip hop and stuff, so I never really run out of subject matter. But the way I do it is really like just like fly by the seat of your pants, like just whatever I think of at the time. And some people don't like that. Like they want like, okay, these are the questions you're gonna ask me, and this is what I'm gonna promote, and da da da. And I'm just real random. So some people like that, some people don't. You know.
Yeah, when you do that, you kind of close the door on people getting to know you and things like that.
When you do it like scripted, or when you do it like more like a free.
If you just, hey, I'm gonna only talk about this or
Okay.
only talk about that, then you could lose a fan that way
Yeah,
because
or you're just not coming across as like as genuine, I guess.
yeah,
I mean, and I.
like people these days need to be able to relate to you.
Mm-hmm. There's so much competition too. It's like nuts.
Exactly.
All right, I was gonna play one of your songs. I don't know if you caught it. It was like starting in the background by accident. But this is bossish. If it's gonna play, everything's running really slow on my computer now. Wow, and we're live, everybody. It's like the little wheel is spinning. So it's gonna play in the middle of me talking, but it's not gonna play now.
That's no problem.
It's gonna pop up whenever it wants to, I guess. So, um, so like, What did you always know that you wanted to like get into music, or like when you were a kid, or
To be honest, it just started. It started off as a little, just something else to do.
like a side project, kind of?
Yeah, just some, cause I used to listen to old school Jay Z, Biggie, Big L, stuff
Yeah.
like that, like lyricists. So I'm like, well, if they can do it, let me try.
Right.
And like I said, towards the end of 2014, I made like 3 or 4 tracks. And the first track I had ever made, I sent it to some of the uh, legends in my city, such as Big Hurt, Lady Blade,
Yeah.
a few others, and they gave me a thumbs up. And also, I don't know if you heard of Helliver, but he's produced for Jeezy, Rick Ross, and a few others. He's also a well-known producer in my city.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, and
And
one
I
thing.
sent them.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I sent the music to his sister, and it was around Thanksgiving, so she invited me over
For
to the
Thanksgiving.
studio.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like to her house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah, we went to his. Well, basically, his studio. They had the Thanksgiving at his studio.
Oh, nice.
So I got to meet his family. We ate, played pool, played the game, went into his studio.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
at that point, I'm like, and at that time, he had a song on the radio with a local artist
Uh huh.
played on WJLB and other stations. So once I was like, hey, I can meet him just off one song,
Right.
I'm like, I have to have something.
Right. You must be onto something.
So, and then but the thing with me is consistency. So I took another hiatus and just focused on doing my show and my host and things like that. But now my first mixtape is close to 100,000 hits. So I figure if I did that with independent artists, why not try to put my own music on there?
Yeah, definitely.
And that would give me more motivation to promote it more.
Like it's scary, isn't it? Like when you first get started, because like you got probably get not maybe like self doubt necessarily, because you can't really have any self doubt. You know what I mean? It's just, but I don't know.
You mean with the mixtape or?
No, with just putting yourself out there like as an artist, like either whether you're like starting to rap or like, like hey everybody, this is what I've been working on, or if you're like live, whatever.
Well, well, when you network like I do,
Yeah.
and then I listen, like I said, I listen to Jay Z, Biggie, Big L, and you record. Not saying I'm dumb or nothing, but obviously you have two two ears, and you can tell if something sounds good or not,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to wordplay and beat selection.
Yeah.
My thing is, if you hear the beat and you nod your head, you got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's
That's
also what you write. If you know how to put together metaphors, punchlines, and things like that.
right. I honestly think there's a lot of artists like now and back then, probably like back then meaning like Jay-Z, Biggie era, that the beat might be good and it doesn't matter what they're saying on it. I mean, you can get like a number one hit with that, just the beat alone. But I don't know if they're saying something on it too that resonates with a lot of people, then that's like a classic, I guess.
Yeah, and I figure, um, why not have the best of both worlds,
Well, yeah, of course,
the beat and the lyrics.
like substance. I was just trying to think. I was on my phone, not trying to be rude, but I was trying to remember the name. Daytona Family, or the Dayton Family. Excuse me,
Yeah, yeah,
Daytona. Yeah, like so I listened to them a good bit. Also, like growing up, or maybe like in my late 20s. But yeah, so they're big. That's like kind of sort of what you think of when you think of Detroit, especially if like you're an older head like me. Um, have you like met any of them or like worked with any of them?
just to be honest with you, I've heard of them, but no,
Really?
like I
You
said,
so like Dayton Family wasn't like big growing up where you were, or like.
honestly, if like, I'm trying to be truthful with you, I'm not really into hip hop like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I listen to a select few like
I hear you.
Biggie, old school Jay Z, some Big L, some Big Pun,
Mostly East Coast stuff.
huh?
Mostly East Coast is
Yeah,
like what you were
so
really getting into. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm not just a music gurus, so to speak.
That's all right. I mean, I talked to a guy who's from Minnesota, and he was trying to tell me about this group that was from the Twin Cities, whatever it is, like St. Paul and the other one. And he was talking about the group as if I should know who they were, but I had no clue what he was talking about. And it turned out it was like some group that it was like four white guys. They made like one song that made it in like 2002 or something. And so when I pulled it up, I was like, oh, of course, that's what's their name? Yeah, sure, you know. But they,
They're just like Kobe when he was trying to get into the league and everything.
mm-hmm,
Study, the bench players. He studied the greats.
right,
So
right.
I try to study the greats
Yeah. It's
and
funny
listen to them.
you brought up Jay Z a few times and Biggie, but it's like a reoccurring theme on here. It's like I'm not like a huge fan of Jay Z.
No, I
Lot,
like. I'm be honest with you. I like mainly his older stuff, like the Black Album,
yeah,
Kingdom. Like a lot of people don't like Kingdom Come. I love Kingdom Come because it's like a different form of rap. Like
yeah.
people not listening. I like the Blueprint too.
I've softened up some because I used to like hate Jay Z, honestly. But that's because I am more of like a hip hop head and like growing up with the whole like Nas beef, and then there was a lot of stuff going around that was pretty much verified that he didn't write his own rhymes or anything. So I actually like his more recent stuff better than his older stuff, but that's just
And
me.
then the thing is, if you listen to Blueprint 3,
Uh-huh.
a lot of the albums, like I'm like, did he really just say that? Like, he was saying like even on Kingdom Come, he was like, uh, loosen up the put on a blazer, looson up the tie, step inside the booth. Superman is alive. Like, who comes up with that?
I
And he
guess his
said,
Ghostwriter.
hey, maybe I
I'm an
don't
I
know.
don't know. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry.
And he was like, then he was like, something about Peter Park, Spider Man. All I do is climb the charts. Like that's so creative. So it's like, not saying I'm trying to take his style or anything, but I'm
No.
trying to be innovative. Like, how do you just? Ain't nobody coming up with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even just a lot of his metaphors and stuff. Like I'm really listening because
Mm.
of course I'm working on my stuff, so I'm trying to have the lyricism to
Everybody's influenced by somebody, you know.
yeah.
Everybody. Like even like Kendrick Lamar, you know, because like got a pretty unique sound, but you know, he's got a little bit of like I would say like Daz influence or other West Coast people from where he grew up. You can just if
And
you
I here and there I check out some Beanie Siegel. Like I like his Public Enemy #1 mixtape.
yeah, Beanie Siegel's cool.
Dollars.
Do you what about like Pharaoh Monch, like Organized Confusion and all
I
that?
used I used to listen to the rap like the rapid wordplay rappers
Uh-huh.
and um after a while I thought about it like you gotta kinda like slow it down so people can know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. So your main goal, I guess, is trying to be like relatable or like get like a wider reach, to
Yeah.
reach more. Yeah, that's
Like
cool.
like how I said like on bosses for example, I
Mhm.
said trying to be a boss of course like Goro.
Mhm.
Stepped up my game watching Euro. Like it's just in those two lines, it's a whole bunch of metaphors you can take for that.
It,
Trying to be a boss, of course, like Goro. Goro was a boss in Mortal Kombat.
yeah, yeah.
Stepped up my game. That's a reference to Goro.
Uh-huh.
Watching Euro. When you playing basketball and you Euro step, you got to step up to make a layup.
Right.
So then I stay with the wordplay. Um, Stepped up my change counting euros,
Right.
which is foreign money.
Right.
Then stepped up my change. That's a plural.
Oh, okay.
Still playing with the words,
Yeah.
and that's like what something with Lil Wayne to do, or so
Right.
I'm like trying to,
Yeah.
yeah.
So do you typically go for like slower beats or like beats that are more Like,
To be honest with you, I was trying the slower beats, but then like far as this mixtape, but then I got some feedback from a guy. He was like, "Man, your raps is good, but these beats sound like you rapping in the '90s," and that's all I needed to hear.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. Cause like yeah, as someone that like DJs and you can see the BPM on stuff, that's like every '90s song I have, I can just look up because I have so many songs. It's hard to find some. If I'm looking for something from the '90s, I just like filter it to like 95, 96 beats per minute. Now everything that's come out recently that's like popular really is like 140, 130 beats per minute, which is crazy.
yeah. And I thought about it, like I could try to mimic them, but then I would feel fraudulent.
Yeah, and the beats per minute, like just to, for as a disclaimer, doesn't always mean that the song is fast. Like if it's that high, sometimes it can be like 140 beats per minute and be like really slow sounding, like a Triple X song, for example. Like it was like most of his songs were that fast, but some of them sound super slow. All right, here I think it's gonna play now.
Cause I could be like, let me see, I'm trying to think of how I can mimic them.
Can you hear the music?
Y'all can hear it.
Okay, okay. I wasn't gonna fight with it.
Got man can't stand you actors. Flip the script, y'all playing it backwards like y'all got cap wing. Play the block on the back wing, getting worked out, no half lane. I ain't no Jeff Cavalieri, but was around beef like Cash and Hair Man. Trying to be a boss up, boss like Goro. Stepped up my game,
Yeah.
watched on your roll. Stepped up my change, counting euros. Stepped up my chain, that's a plural. I mean.
There's those lyrics you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like you really like nail the beat too. Like that's something I look for because I like I gotta admit I've tried like in the privacy of my like shower. It's, hitting the beat is like really like one of the hardest things. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing I learned from not being funny.
Yeah.
Biggie was good, you know what I'm saying, but Jay Z,
Okay.
no, it's debatable that he took styles, like when Young Chris and Beanie Siegel came around. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's highly debatable because if you listen to I don't know all the name of his albums, but his Life and Times to Black Album, Blueprint 2, you can see he changed up his whole style. But
Mhm.
me by me listening to that, like specifically it's a song called what is it called? Uh I'm sorry, give me a
No, you're
second. It's
fine.
Dig a Hole on Kingdom Come.
Okay.
He the way he rides the beat and the way he swags it out is like, then I listen to What More Can I Say, and the way he swagged it out is like, why just come on the beat and be like, no, 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 like a typical rapper, ride
Right.
the beat.
Right.
Like on my mixtape, I got some songs where I'm gonna be dragging out till it hit the drum, it hit the snare, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah, that's like that's when you've mastered like what you're gonna say, whether it's gonna rhyme. I guess that's the next step is like, okay, is it gonna sound like on beat or like how am I gonna play with it, like using empty space or whatever.
Yeah, and then just like his, just like not not trying to
Be a Jay
sound
Z
like
stan.
I want to marry him or nothing, but just the whole swag, like
Yeah,
is
I
like I
y'all everyone I've talked to is like y'all are slowly turning me around and getting me to understand the whole appeal of Jay Z because like I guess coming into this I was like man fuck Jay Z or whatever
I'm not
but
gonna lie to you. I don't like anything after Blueprint 3. It's
okay.
decent. He sound like, of course, is I listen to Summer 444, and he got some stuff on there.
Mm.
But like Magna Carta, The Throne, he sound like every other, not being funny, but every other rapper on a higher level.
Right,
Like
right.
listen to some of the songs, like what is he saying?
Yeah.
I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like if you listen to the prelude on Kingdom Come, it's a message.
Mm.
You know, then he got Lost Ones on there. Then he got like he got so many songs on there.
Well,
So
I'm gonna
it's
start like digging into it a little bit because
yeah.
everyone is so like I got one guy that's I actually know in real life that I interviewed, And he's just like, "You're crazy." It's like, "You don't like Jay-Z, you're crazy." That's all there is to it. I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
well, I only like about four of his albums out of the 10.
yeah.
Well, just being honest, based off wordplay and his skills of riding a beat. But
Yeah.
like Biggie with Life After Death and also Ready to Die, it's
Mm.
like like he wore a Coogee sweater, so it's like yeah, your whole album matches that. Like you got songs for everything.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
The one thing about Biggie too, Biggie actually and Pac, I don't know if you're a Pac fan or not, but like when you play like their like acapella, you can mix it with anything because they're
yeah,
so just like bam, 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 you know.
hmm
And some people you put them in and it's like, their acapellas, it's like you can't even like pick up the beats per minute on it, you know, because they're so all
yeah.
over the place. But anyway, um, so cool. Like, what's next for you? Like, I know you talked about you have the projects coming up and stuff, but are you like looking to do anything further with your career as far as branching out?
Um, actually, this is the first step. Again, this is my second release, and I'm already getting a good response. So I'm just trying to build off that. So hopefully I can go over 100,000
Hmm.
on the second one, and then obviously with that comes a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah. So like, if a label came to you, let's say tomorrow or in a couple weeks or a month or whatever, and said like, if it was a big one like Atlantic or I don't even know what's around anymore, like Def Jam, would you like turn it down, or would it just
Um,
depend?
First I would get a lawyer, of course,
Yes. Yes. Good answer.
and then talk about it from there. Because normally when you come fresh to a deal, even if I get 2 million downloads, 2 million plays, they're still gonna look at you as okay, that's nice, but can you generate money?
Right. Yeah.
They're gonna give you the lowest deal possible. So that's another reason why on this mixtape, like on my first mixtape, I had songs on there for everything, like
Mm-hmm.
government, police, and I wasn't rapping. These were independent artists, females, whatever you wanted is on there.